welcome back to ZeN TV. Still with the gents, Damon, Shay, G and Cal. Now you've no doubt heard of the Oxford University here in the UK, but have you heard of Oxford University Press? It's a respectable publisher tied to an academic institution, and they've banned children's books authors from using the words pig, pork, sausage or any other pig related word so that Muslims will not be offended. The first thought that came to mind, Damon, was what about the story of the three little pigs? That was the first thing that came to mind. Is that no longer going to be used in schools or read to little children?
Well, I think the interesting point was we circulated this, populated between ourselves, and the retort, one of the retorts that came back was from my brother, was there was no one commenting did any respectable, intelligent Muslim come back to us to say what they thought about it. Someone's just gone ahead and decided they were going to actually ban this word for whatever reasons they see fit. So yeah, I mean, it just beggars belief that.
For me, when I read the story, I wondered if it was a little bit of was it political correctness or was it kind of subliminal government control? Because on one hand they call a Muslim a terrorist, and on another hand they'll say don't offend the Muslims by using the word pork.
Quite.
So either way, it's going to rile people up. Can I open it to everyone?
I think banning the word sausage is a generic word anyway, because you get turkey sausages, chicken sausage and all sorts. But I find it a bit strange that you want to ban a word like pork or ban a pig. A pig exists in this world, you know. You can't eliminate the fact. In fact, then you're depriving the child of education, of understanding what a pig is. I can understand because they call it haram as opposed to halal, which means non-clean, whereas halal means you are allowed to. So it's permissible. Non-permissible is haram. I can understand that element of it, but only if they've been lobbied by, say, a Muslim UK organisation or something like that to say, look, we're not happy with your books, we want these words banned. But it just seems like what I've read of it, the small art, Damon sent originally the email out to us, but what I read when I googled it, there doesn't seem to be any Muslim organisation who's saying we want to ban this. So are they preempting something? Well, yeah, and again, what you're saying about, on one hand we're hearing them being called terrorists, and on the other hand they're playing to them. So I don't really understand what's going on there.
You know, when you sit back and you listen to these types of stories that get into the atmosphere, you always question what is the logic of whatever they're trying to do. Because, you know, if you can imagine, Muslims have got a terrible reputation at this moment in time, not born of themselves, but born of the media and their own agenda. And I can't imagine them sitting there as a group of people, 1 billion strong, saying, you know what, I'm just not happy with the way that these Oxford Press just keep flinging this word pig in there. You know, I just think it's, you know, I can't imagine them all coming together and go, you know what, we have to get those vests made up and blow more places up because of the word pork. You know, it is a nonsense. And I think to myself, if it's nonsense, then who are the people who perpetrate nonsense? It's the Western media. So you know the Western media and the Western governments are behind this ridiculous, nonsensical story. Because no sensible Muslim would concern themselves this week with that story. You have to understand, right, there's a lot of Christians that don't believe in eating pork, but pork is mentioned in the Bible. You don't get Christians lobbying and saying get rid of that word in the Bible where it tells you about when the Lord removes the demons out of Legion and puts it into the pigs. Well, they jump into the pigs. They don't say and they jumped into the blank. Do you know what I mean? And the blank jumped into the sea. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't do that. Well, and nobody with any sense would lobby to have that removed. Because there's far more important things to actually concern yourselves with. I mean,
word chicken, for example.
Of course, you know, it's just people have to. I mean, it's a nonsensical story.
Nonsense.
Okay, well, let's.
Isn't that going to get other people's backs up? So the far right, they're going to be saying like, "Why are you pandering to the Muslims when it's probably not even the Muslims?"
You're right.
That's why I say I think it's about control. It's just about riling people and causing division.
You know, you kind of hope, right, that even the far right, because they're thinkers, they're not idiots. You'd think that they'd think to themselves, wait a minute, you know, this is not really a thing that we're going to fight against at this moment in time because far more important things to do. You know, we've got to raise money to actually get these immigrants out of the country, rather than sort of fighting, this article. So I can't imagine the far right being, getting offended with the Muslim sect because of this story, because it's just like nothing.
Let's move on then. It's talking food still. Cal, your story about Tesco?
Yeah, I read a story in The Independent the other day, and it was about a fracas that happened inside of Tesco's in Northampton. And what I thought it was, it's coming the same week that Jackie, one of our ZeN members, has hosted a conference with an organisation called We Are Nudge about the rise of food banks and the child poverty, etc. like that. And this sort of, I don't know whether it's media sensationalism, or whether it's just people trying to get a bargain. Because I can see this sort of thing happening on Black Friday and
Harrods sale.
Yeah, Harrods sale to me.
That sounded a bit racist.
Yes.
Racist.
Oh, yes. Terrible guy.
Ban the word. Ban
Shoots
the
you in the
word.
garden.
So there's a massive squabble when, at the end of the day, when the stuff that they're going to throw away and they're going to reduce it because the date's going to go out, they put it out on the shelf.
Can I just pause? You didn't used to do that.
Do what?
Get some bargains.
All the time.
These rugby tackle
Yeah,
people.
of course.
Tell us what prices.
Well, you get joints of meat from like £37 to 50 pence.
Wow.
Yeah. But it was going brown. But when you're hungry, you're hungry. And if you were inviting people around on a Sunday, they couldn't see it brown.
So it'd be cooked.
Exactly. And you pray for it, and they go, that's wonderful.
I remember you used to really go there at 9 o'clock at night.
No. You see, if you went at 9 o'clock, you're getting it reduced, but not reduced enough.
Yeah.
You have to get it at 10 to 10.
Oh,
10 to 10 p.m.
The final, the 11th hour,
Yeah,
basically.
that's right. And then you'd go to them and you bring the stuff to the counter. And what it was, you did this dance, you'd walk around, so in your head, you think musical chairs. And then at the appointed time, 5 to 9, you make a beeline, pick your stuff
5
up.
to 10.
5 to 10 rather. And then you go to the counter and you'd say, it's got stickers on it for like £1 something or 50 pence. And you say, what are you saying for this? And they go, penny.
Wow.
Yeah, I know you used to do that.
Yeah, of course.
So anyway, going back to the story, the woman walks out with this food that she's going to put on, and she has to physically stop people. She's shouting at them, move back, because everybody's ready to jump in.
Move back now! Otherwise I'm taking them away! Right, let the staff out! Right, go!
I actually can't believe this. I actually cannot believe this.
Now this could look like people just bargain hunting, like I said before, or it could be that people are actually hungry and need food at a cheaper price because disposable income is very, very low with people now. So the G-Man's been in that position where he had low disposable income and he didn't have to necessarily rugby tackle people to get the food.
Just
but
drop kick him.
Yeah, but he had to wait at that time of the day to get food at that price. So this could be, demonstrating to us as the public, how bad poverty is actually becoming.
Do you think it's a bit of both though? Because I think it's not just those who are poverty stricken.
If you watch the video,
I did. We're going to play the video, but I just reading some of the comments. One lady said, I don't know if this is true, that basically she got some prawns. I can't remember how much they were. I think they're £9 down to 10 pence, and she bought 2. She said there was this little old lady looking at her, looked really sort of sorry-eyed, and she thought, oh gosh, I feel guilty. So I gave the old lady 1. When she came back, when she left and was in the car park, this woman went into the poshest possible car. So it's like, is it just because is something cheap?
Well, never think to yourself a person is rich because of the car they drive.
yeah, I was just going to say that.
Yeah, because no,
Go on,
please.
Jane.
Yeah.
I'm kind of blessed. Everything I've got is been given.
Yeah.
I've earned nothing to be where I'm at.
Yeah,
So I don't have any money. I just got great friends who've really supported me. So she may come out of an amazing car. It doesn't mean she ain't broke.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
You see?
Good point.
Probably got mortgaged up to the hilt.
Yeah.
But I know certainly from talking with people who are in situations like that they're really struggling. They haven't got no disposable income. I sometimes think to myself, I regularly shop and stuff like that, and I just think to myself, I'm living in a different world to what they're living in completely. You know, I try and support people as much as I can, but there's only a certain amount of people that you can support. It is becoming almost pandemic. The lack of income that.
Well, Cal was talking, you know, about that same lady who's got 2 tubs of prawns. Prawns are a luxury item,
That's
right? But if you, and she has 2. What does she want with 2? And my argument.
She might have done what you did and give it to her neighbours.
Yeah, yes, she may have, but she can't complain if she gives it to this little old lady who has a nice car.
That's true.
You know, does she feel saddened or regretful because of the car the woman drives? You know, what we have to be is take what you need. You know, when I used to go to the shops, Tesco's was the brand I used to have, and it was in the village. I used to buy everything that was available and give it to the neighbours.
Yeah, you did.
Right? Not because... So if a person came and says he's a very greedy person, I would appear to be greedy. But if you knew me, you'd realise to yourself, I was distributing it. So I think to myself, we need to bring back community. You know, bring out the food, make the food be cheap as possible. And I don't queue for cheap food anymore. Not because I can't, you know, I don't need to, because I don't need to.
And there's one thing that you always say, G, and that's don't let somebody else's persona or character determine what yours is.
Yes.
If that lady's heart was to give him someone, it should have just ended there.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk about surplus food being utilised in a different way, Damon. What's the story you've brought to us?
Yeah, there was the group of students in America who were in the canteen late one evening and saw a load of food being wasted. And they came up and spoke to the authorities within the kitchen and said, look, you know, what are you going to do with it? We're going to waste it, it's late at night. And they came up with this idea of doing food banks. So the key was they got a group of volunteers who did a deal with the kitchen in this particular university campus, who then decided what they were going to do was, through volunteers, distribute it to the poor. Wow. And this movement now has got so big, there's thousands of them doing it. They've actually gone through to lots of different university campuses. And what they've got is they've got all the volunteers distributing the food that they would otherwise throw away. And they're all agreeing to do it. So it shows that this kind of movement of helping the masses and helping those in need, you know, this is a group of students, you know. So you can affect and elicit change if you have a gathering of like-minded people with a connective and a conscience and the drive and the will and the ambition to do more. We actually have that. We have there are people in the world who are demonstrating what we are equally trying to demonstrate, which is community-minded initiative, helping those in need, and challenging otherwise authorities into giving when they probably wouldn't have give.
Yeah.
So, you know, they're actually acting, you know, like with love, you know, to distribute things that otherwise would be wasted, which is brilliant.
Yes.
And and this movement is growing and growing and growing. This is wonderful to hear. The fact that, you know, it's not a group of older people trying to tell them this is the youth. There's some good things happening in the world. We are focusing continually on bad things. The world is a bad place. It's getting worse, and we know it is. However, there is also good things happening in it too. You know, we are trying to be a community-minded initiative to demonstrate through our actions love in the community to help promote others to help others too. You know, this isn't just ours. This is a collective of love throughout the world that we're trying to help people understand. Just love each other and help and give and help and give and help. It's not ours. It's not a Zen thing that we hold. You know, love is a universal truth, man. This is what God gave us that we're trying to say, look, just spread the love out, guys, you know. The world's a big place and we need a lot of people that need a lot of help. And these students are demonstrating stuff. You think, good on them, man. You know, like they're doing something, that these guys are very bright and driven and focused. And it shows with the will and the desire to deliver something good as you do with something bad. It's the same will and effort. And, you know, I look at that and you become uplifted to think there are collective people unified throughout the world through this thing that we call love. You know, it is wonderful to see.
And you do make a great point, Dave, because as you say, here at ZeN, we ZeN, we find these types of stories like this, positive stories that can definitely, an initiative like this can change the world. And it's not about the stories that we just discussed. It's not just about the stories that gets our attention. If you've got a story, something insightful, something that's got your attention and is kind of getting you energized or even riled, share your story on Twitter, mevzen.com.
or get Spider-Man. He wanted to.